What up, YouTube? This is Steven, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I really want to sound off on something that I knew about for a while, but I just recently actually researched. And before I get into this, I know that this is old news. I admit that. This is old. But I still feel the need to sound off on it. So, hear me out. All right. A couple of years ago, around the Britney Jean era, there was some news that kind of got out that Britney wasn't really the person singing, at least totally, on her album Britney Jean. And when I first heard that, I didn't really pay much attention to it. I was just like, hey, rumors, I'm sure Britney Spears isn't any stranger to rumors. And also because I just didn't really gravitate towards the Britney Jean era that much. For some reason, even before I knew about all of this, the vocal dubbing with, not dubbing, I guess the vocal double or voice singing, if you will, on Britney Spears' behalf by a backup singer who goes by the name of Myah. Before I knew about that, I wasn't really, crazy about this album for some reason. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but yeah, I wasn't really crazy about it. I mean, the lead single wasn't really that awesome. No shade. However, there are a couple of songs that I do like on it. But let's get back to topic though. All right, so it comes out that a person by the name of, a backup singer by the name of Myah, she was singing a lot of parts on Britney Jean. She was singing a lot of parts. And I'm like, wait a minute. You mean Britney Spears ain't singing on her own album? And, quiet as it's kept, this isn't actually quite the first time that this has happened. But it was just a song. It was just a couple of parts. All right, go back to Toxic during the In the Zone era. Britney Spears does sing the majority of Toxic, but when she gets to the parts, her voice is well, not her voice, but when it's on like, too high, can't come down. And when it gets to that part, if you listen to the demo version of Toxic and the final version of Toxic by Britney, they're the same exact sound. So Britney Spears wasn't singing that. She took the demo version of those vocals and just kept it and just pretended like she was singing it. Also in Toxic, when you get to the end, when it's like, well, the bridge, when it's like, oh, and then it's all like, bounce, 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 bounce. Taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. When it gets to that part, Britney Spears ain't doing those vocals either. So, long story short, this ain't the first time that Britney Spears been using other folks' vocals, but it was just like a one-time thing with that. But this time, it's the whole damn album. Well, she wasn't singing. Myah wasn't singing for the whole album. I mean, Britney Spears did sing on songs, but it was way more than it should have been. Really, it shouldn't have been 0, but it should have been like, a couple of things here and there, but it was just too much, And I don't know why. Well, there's theories, coming around. There's theories. And the theories are the following. Okay, theory 1, Britney didn't have enough time to record the album because of her Vegas residency. If you go back to like 2014 or whenever this all happened, Britney, she wasn't really I guess she was in the process of setting up her Vegas residency, but also her record label wanted an album. So I'm guessing she may have been contractually obligated to deliver them an album, possibly. But I don't know why that, they couldn't wait for her to kind of like get some free time to record the album. Or either another option would be for the producers or like Britney Spears' team or whatever to go to her in Vegas and, during her downtime, record some vocals. I think Hilary Duff wound up doing that when she was like filming a movie and doing an album at the same time. Like the producers or whoever came to her and set up some recording equipment, in her trailer or whatever, and recorded the album. So they could have did that. Two options that they could have taken. The next theory is that maybe I guess Britney, I don't know. I guess that there's another theory. I just forgot about it. That was floating around. But I mean, I don't really know what to say other than, it kind of sucks for people who really do like, these Britney Jean songs off of the Britney Jean album, because when they're listening to it, they're not listening to Britney Spears in totally. And I feel like, I'll admit, like, it had me fooled, I didn't really listen to this whole album. I have like a couple of favorite songs off of this album, like Chilling With You and Brightest Morning Star, Till It's Gone, Perfume to a lesser extent. But I will admit that I didn't really pick up on it, until it was kind of brought to my attention. Then I'm like listening. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't really quite, it didn't, the most that kind of raised a red flag for me would have been, the chorus of Brightest Morning Star did raise a red flag, because I thought Britney Spears' voice was a little light, it's like, you're my brightest morning star. And we know, if you are a true Britney Spears fan, you know that Britney Spears' singing voice, her actual singing voice, is actually pretty low. I think she's an alto. I think her singing voice is actually pretty low. She's like, oh, baby. Well, maybe not that low, but something like, I'm trying to think of an example I can, showcase for you. It's only your shadow, never yourself. If you listen to Britney sing Shadow live, it's kind of more of her singing voice there. It's low, it's deep. Or if you listen to, like, say, the unreleased track Baby Boy, a lot of people reference that. But yeah, so I guess I kind of lost my train of thought there. But yeah, Brightest Morning Star, the chorus did sort of raise red flags, but I'm like, Britney's just, they maybe just auto-tune her voice a bit much or something, just play with her vocals, here and there. And I think that's what a lot of people were blaming it on, just like, hey, it's auto-tuned, it's, synthesizers, etc. Excuse me. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was actually Myah Marie. And some people like, who is Myah Marie? Well, for those of you who don't know who Myah Marie is, I think I've explained it already, but I'll go back and say some more. Myah Marie is a backup singer, and I believe she kind of works with will.i.am. And will.i.am produced a lot of songs on this album, And I think that's how they found out about Myah. Well, that's kind of like how this started to happen, the whole Myah Marie thing. It kind of started during the circus era, but it really kind of just, went totally crazy during the Britney Jean era here. Let's see. I think I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, uh, Myah Marie and will.i.am, they were kind of like working together, or Myah Marie sings backup for the will.i.am produced tracks. So that's how kind of like Myah Marie came into the picture. So I'm guessing they must have been in the studio and maybe heard Myah Marie singing and like, she sounds really similar to Britney Spears. And then this whole situation came up because I'm thinking like either Britney Spears is just trying to like play her fans totally and act like she can really sing all this and that, or maybe she just genuinely didn't have enough time to do the recordings for this album. I did hear about well, this is on the low though. I don't know if folks really are supposed to even know about this, but that actress who voiced the voice of Kim Possible on the Disney Channel and who played Ren Stevens on Even Stevens? Yeah, that actress did like acted as a voice double for Angelina Jolie, and I guess some like animated picture that Angelina Jolie was working on. I'm like, wait a minute, like what? Are you serious? But so yeah, this does happen. Keep it real, this does happen. It shouldn't happen. I don't think that's cool, but it does happen. But yeah, back to Britney Spears, Britney Jean, Myah Marie, whatever. All right. I think I, again, lost my train of thought. This is, this ain't meant to be the best video in the world. But it's just meant for me to really just kind of like, I guess, sound off and just rant and rave and just speak on some stuff, because I really do like, the couple of songs that I mentioned, Till It's Gone, Brightest Morning Star, Chilling With You. And it kind of takes away a little bit from it. And, this guy on YouTube, I think he goes by the name of like Michael Vasek. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that name right, but I apologize if I'm not. He posted these like clips and like, hey, this is Myah Marie singing. This is Britney Spears singing. And like, this is when Myah Marie sings on Billie Jean. And this is when Britney Spears sings on Billie Jean. Like, stuff like that. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm just like, that ain't cool to kind of like fool your fans like that, Britney. And really, your fans don't really got any like super high expectations for your singing ability. No shade. I think, I'll say we as the fans, we accept you for your vocal limitations. Keep it real. We ain't expecting Britney Spears to, come out singing like Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston. We ain't checking. We ain't really expecting that. If she does happen to sing like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, on a cold day in hell, no shade, then her fans would just love it and eat it up, But they wouldn't be expecting that. Really? They accept, like, we accept Britney for the vocals that she gives us. Like the, I think I did it again. I made you believe we're more than just friends. Oh, baby. Our, Peekaboo, he doing things you wish you could. He's not talking, he just walking like them city boys from New York. By the time I meet a soldier, really badass soldier, know how to take me, I'm so damn glad that's over. What's another good Britney Spears vocal inflected track? I guess that's all I can think of at the moment. But yeah, we ain't really expecting all that in a bag of chips with the vocals. So, and plus, Britney Spears been auto-tuning and synthesizing for years, So it may have been a time constraint issue. Because, I mean, even during the blackout era when Britney Spears was at, like, her worst in, as far as, like, her personal life and stuff, she was able to get into the studio. Or, you know, she was still putting down vocals and stuff, you know. And I think at that point, Britney Spears was just giving them a lot of times just, like, a little bit of anything and just telling them to, like, do, you know, just make it good. You know, just zhuzh it up in the studio. You know. You know, but yeah. But let me get back on topic, you know, because there's so many different topics I can talk about, but let me stick to the topic. All right. So the thing that really sort of, I guess, triggered some people to start investigating this was like, the song Passenger. And I feel that the song Passenger is probably where Myah Marie's vocals are the most evident, you know, as far as her being like a voice double for Britney. I feel like that song is probably where it's most evident. I can definitely hear it on that song. Other songs, she does do a good job, at least, you know, for, you know, the normal folks. Probably the people who are like totally pitch perfect could probably, you know, point it out. But anywho, Britney Spears there wound up being some controversy about the song Passenger, you know. Let's see. I'm going to read off something. When the song leaked in November 2013, Passenger became the object of controversy by social media, who claim that the voice in the song doesn't appear to be Britney Spears' voice. And the voice behind the song could be Myah Marie, Britney Spears' background singer who recorded for her albums Circus and Femme Fatale. However, days later, Myah Marie said that, quote unquote, I most certainly cannot take credit for her tremendous talent as a singer. And that was all that she said to kind of like rebuke it. So I'm like, let me read between the lines here right quick. Let me translate this. Let me read between the lines, you know. Basically what she's saying is, I cannot take credit. She's saying it right. She's saying it straight up. Like, I can't take credit for this. You know, I cannot take credit for her tremendous talent as a singer because she is contractually obligated not to take credit. That's what she really means. Because really, if she didn't have anything to do with this, she probably would have just been like, no, you know, I don't sing backup vocals for the track Passenger. I don't do vocal, you know, work. You know, I'm not a vocal double or a ghost singer for Britney Spears. You know, something to that effect. But she didn't say that, you know. When the album was released in December 2013, the name Myah Marie was not included in the song's credits, although she was credited on Britney Jean's other songs like Work Bitch, Tick Tick Boom, Till It's Gone, Chilling With You, and Now That I Found You. Which I do think is a little strange that she wasn't credited, even though we can obviously hear her voice in the song. But I'm guessing they maybe just did that just to kind of like throw us off the trail, you know? Because she can't be credited in like every single song, I guess. Well, I guess she could. But I guess this is her being like, because she is a backup singer legit for Britney. You know, a legitimate backup singer for Britney, but they don't want to like have her involved in too much. So they probably do just want to kind of like list her here, there, and everywhere. No, not everywhere, but you know what I mean. They just want to showcase her in the songs that she did backup vocals for. But if she didn't do backup vocals in those songs, but rather lead vocals, they're not going to credit her. No, they ain't going to do that. Because if they do that, then it kind of leaves more room for speculation, you know? And I don't think they don't want speculation. They want folks to buy this album. Somebody bought the album, not a lot of people. But, you know, some folks bought the album. I don't have this album. This album is not in my collection. I don't think it's probably going to end up in my collection, to be honest. I'll probably just skip over this and pretend like it doesn't exist, like Britney Spears does. Because you notice she didn't do practically any promotion for this album. I mean, she did promotion for Femme Fatale. Well, she did do some promotion for this album. Videos. She did videos. 2 videos. But yeah, she did promotion for Femme Fatale. You know, she did do promotional performances for Femme Fatale. She did promotional performances for Circus, definitely, because, you know, that was her comeback. So she was performing Womanizer a lot, and Circus too. She even did like a promotional performance for Blackout, you know, the VMA performance from 2007. You know, very iconic, but for the wrong reasons. So, yeah, Britney, I don't think she really even want to acknowledge this album. Which is a bit of a shame because it's named after her too. And it was like Britney Jean. So it's like we're supposed to be kind of like seeing a different look at Britney because they're using her middle name, you know? But no, yeah, I guess we got a different look, but it wasn't Britney. But to get to the, you know, this is a random video. But to get to the, I guess, to cut to the chase, I guess at this point, to cut to the chase, I think Myah Marie maybe was feeling kind of salty because she wound up doing like this song, this parody song of Piece of Me called "Don't Take My Kids." And she's kind of like mocking Britney Spears in the song. And I think this is after they worked together previously. Maybe during like the Circus or Femme Fatale era, perhaps. But yeah, I'm like, didn't Britney Spears' people like, you know, check this chick out first before they let her do this? But then again, maybe they were like, hey, come on board and we gonna use your ass and then kick your ass to the curb. That's how you do. Because you notice this chick ain't getting no, like, where's she at now? This is the best thing she got going for her right now, being the, you know, the voice of Britney Spears. I will say, you know, it's a bit disappointing, but I'm not really that hung up on it just because I wasn't really into the Britney Jean era anyway. Now, if this had been like the Oops, I Did It Again album or the In the Zone album or maybe even Blackout, I would be kind of like, whoa now, you know, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. That ain't cool. But here, it's okay. It's not okay. It isn't okay. I won't say that, but I ain't tripping off of it totally. Just because I wasn't checking for this album for one reason or the other. But you know, I do feel bad for fans who really do like this album though, and were really impressed by some of the vocals in this album. I mean, the song Passenger, I do like that song, but it kind of gets obvious that it's not Britney singing this song. She's singing the verses, but when it gets to like the chorus and the bridge, no, definitely the bridge. That's where it becomes the most evident. Because I'm like, you know, those vocals sound like a little too good. Yeah, those vocals sound like, like, I'm like, where'd that come from, Britney? Because usually Britney is more of like a low singer, even though she does do her, you know, iconic, you know, quote unquote baby doll voice. But her vocals are probably a bit more kind of like the song Perfume. That's probably more so her natural voice range, where it's kind of like low. The high-pitched voice, you know, that maybe she found out when she was working with Max Martin, doing kind of like the the nasal singing, singing through your nose, that isn't natural for Britney, she's singing out of her vocal range. And, there are actually some live performances where Britney does actually sing live, like back in the day, where she's singing like, Oops, I Did It Again, or You Drive Me Crazy. And I can notice that, she is struggling, to kind of like stay in that vocal range. And people looking at it and like, oh, this chick can't sing. But really, she's singing outside of her vocal range. So, it does come off like she can't sing, and she's doing it live. So it probably looks weird. But if she was to sing inside her vocal range, she would probably sound better. Again, is she going to be Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey? No. But she could do very well, for herself, But thankfully for this new album, Glory, Myah Marie nor will.i.am are anywhere on this album. So that is great. And I do plan on getting Glory. I haven't got around to it though, because I want the deluxe version. I saw it at Walmart, but they had like the regular version. I'm like, I want the deluxe version, But then there's supposed to be 18 tracks in total, but the deluxe version has 17, and the Japanese version gets the 18 tracks. So I'm like, well, I want that version, So yeah, long story short, I'm probably going to end up getting the album because heard previews and it does sound promising. And, Britney's vocals are probably the best that they've been, at least since post comeback. So I'll probably end up getting that album. But yeah, Myah Marie, I don't have anything against her, personally. I do think it was a bit shady of her to do that song, Don't Take My Kids From Me, mocking Britney Spears. At the same time, you going to work for Britney Spears too. So, what does that say about you? But I see in like the comment areas and like the forums and stuff, like people don't like Myah Marie. Like people, they acting like Myah Marie is like the second coming, well, not the second coming, but like the coming of like the Antichrist or something. I guess in like the religion of Britney Spears, she is like she is the Antichrist. We must, destroy her. She is guided by Satan, or the Illuminati or something. But yeah, I personally don't have anything majorly bad against her. At the end of the day, she did a job, She was paid for it. I don't know how much. She probably wasn't paid all that much anyway. That's probably why maybe she was. I don't know. But again, she was paid to do this, This was her job. And I feel like we can't totally fault Myah Marie. It's not like she just busted in there and said, I'm singing all these vocals. Oh, baby, baby. No, she was like, they probably came to her and was like, hey, yada da da da, Britney Spears is busy in Vegas, da 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 da, can you sing your vocals? Thanks. Here's some money. Okay. And then she was like, oh, baby, baby. Outside of fire, I fall. So, she definitely, getting her money, So I can't be mad at her for doing that, I do give her the side eye on the don't take my kids from me thing, though, I can understand people being angry about that. And will.i.am get some flack too? But ultimately, I think ultimately it's either the record labels to blame or Britney's to blame, because will.i.am, I think he was like the executive producer, but he's doing his job, if he didn't have the vocals from Britney, either Britney Spears comes and records the vocals, they come to her record the vocals, or they get someone to record the vocals, and they got someone to record the vocals. And back to the song Passenger for a minute. Definitely during that bridge, because Britney, well, I guess Myah, she is singing, she's doing some pretty decent singing. I'm like, okay. But if you listen to the voice, it sound like Britney, but it don't sound like Britney. You know? And that's weird. You probably like, what? But it sounds like a variation of Britney. And I know how people could be fooled by that. Because you're like, oh, Britney Spears is kind of like singing in a different tone. You know, singing in a different, vocal inflection. But you're like, I don't know. Because Britney Spears' voice doesn't really have that particular tone with it. You know? So you probably do have to be really familiar with Britney Spears' voice. Granted, I didn't really listen to the Britney Jean album much at all. So I didn't really kind of like the few songs that I heard from the album didn't, for the most part, didn't really make me think, oh, this ain't Britney singing. It didn't make me think that. But it did kind of like, oh, her voice sounds a little different. So something like that, particularly on the song Brightest Morning Star during the chorus. But, I don't know what else I can say. I mean, if you bought the album, and you feel gypped, you have a right to feel gypped. But I would say, at least you enjoyed the songs, But hey, at least we got Glory, Britney Spears, she came back with it though. She was like, glory to my voice. Yeah. Well, it's Britney Spears, so let me think. Glory, yeah, to my voice. Oh, yeah. I put on a private show. Oh, work it. Why much man work it? But I guess I've said all I have to say. This was a rant and it was kind of all over the place, but I just really wanted to just, speak my piece, put it out there, and get you guys' opinion on this. My ultimate opinion is, I think it's a bit low for them, including Britney, because Britney's partially a part of this, I know some folks, the fans, probably don't want to, implicate Britney on this because, they like Britney, right? They fans. But I think it was low of everybody, to take a part of this, and, fool the fans into thinking that this is Britney when it's not Britney, totally. I do think that's low. However, I'm not really tripping on it just because I wasn't really feeling Britney Jean, the album anyway. I didn't buy it. I wasn't really planning on buying it. Britney Spears didn't promote the album. She didn't tour for the album. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's bad, but, I ain't kind of like tripping off of it just because I guess it didn't really affect me. But then it did affect other people, though. Somebody. So, long story short, I don't think they should have did that. So, Myah Marie's to blame. will.i.am's to blame. Britney is to blame. And her record label is to blame. And I listed them in order of the least to blame. I think Myah Marie is the least to blame because, I'm pretty sure, like, they came to her, So, while Myah Marie is a little shady for that song, I ain't really tripping off of, Myah Marie doing her job because, you gotta, let's say if she didn't, what would have happened if she said, no, I don't want to do this? Then either she could get fired or she could miss out on some money, But yeah, I think I've gone on for long enough. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to go on for this long, but I just had a lot to say about this particular issue, But yeah, I think Glory is kind of like, Britney Spears' vocal comeback, from this, which is a good recovery, definitely. Based off of what I've heard from Glory, I think it's a way stronger album than Britney Jean. So yeah. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Feedback and support are extremely appreciated and extremely valued. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.